Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Audit Crypt. Professor Rallis, Dor here to share insights and keep you up to date on the ever-changing realm of medical device regulatory requirements. Today, in episode 3, we will be discussing control of biological indicators, or BIs for short. This topic is extremely important. However, very often key aspects are overlooked. We all know how important sterilization of medical devices is. BIs enable validation and continued verification of the validated sterilization cycle. BIs contain viable microorganisms that provide a defined resistance to a specified sterilization process. These live microorganisms live within the BI strips, coupons, liquid, etc., and need to be cared for properly. There are two main points we want to stress regarding BIs. First, the importance of how BIs are stored. These testy bugs need to be stored in temperate conditions, ideally in an incubator, so they can be comfortable enough not to misbehave. An incubator controls temperature and humidity, keeping the little buggers content. If BIs are stored with too little humidity, they can dry out, which can make them harder to kill during the sterilization cycle, as the time needed for the spore to open may be longer. Storage is a fine line between keeping the microorganisms alive but not too comfortable. These microorganisms can not only die in less than satisfactory conditions, but they can also multiply at a rate faster than we would like. The ideal balance can be achieved with an incubator set to appropriate temperature and humidity ranges as specified by the BI manufacturer. This leads us to our second point, the importance of independent spore count verification. Yes, my friends, BIs need to be independently tested to compare counts against the BI manufacturer's certificate. Per ISO 11138 Part 1, Clause 6, the resistance of each batch of BIs must be tested with viable count determined. Population verification is considered achieved when results fall within 50% to 300% of the manufacturer's stated nominal population. What this means is that no more than 50% of the spores can die, or, in contrast, the spores cannot multiply more than 3 times the original amount. It is the responsibility of the medical device manufacturer to facilitate performance of this testing, which may be outsourced. If a contracted supplier, like a contract manufacturer or the contract sterilizer, is to perform this testing on behalf of the medical device manufacturer, it is imperative to ensure that this is defined in an executed quality agreement or other similar agreement or contract. In conclusion, ensure BI storage is appropriate, and second, ensure that the independent spore count verification is occurring for each batch of BI utilized, whether it be for sterilization validation, biennial requalification, routine sterilization, etc. We would like to thank Professor G for her knowledge contributions for this episode. Her passion regarding all things sterilization is highly admired and appreciated. Thank you for joining us for another informative episode of Tales for the Audit Crypt, keeping you informed on medical device regulatory requirements. Until next time, stay informed and compliant, or be prepared to face the dire consequences.